Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Village Board meeting, Wednesday, May 14th. If we'd all stand, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Present.
Trustee DeVivo?
Present.
Trustee Kajanis?
Present.
Trustee Sabo?
Present.
Trustee Suisse?
Present.
Trustee Yukich?
Present.
Mayor Daley?
Present. Are there any amendments to the agenda? I have a couple I'm going to make at the time of the motion that I've discussed with several trustees, which would change the liquor license that would be issued to Homer Glen for the festival to Homer Township, and also a change in committee members from Trustee Suisse would be moved from Administration Finance Committee to Homer Harvest Days, and Trustee Costa will be moved to Administration Finance Committee. We discussed that prior to the meeting. I'll adjust the motions as we get to them. Okay, are there any other amendments to the agenda? All right. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of April 23rd, 2013?
So moved.
That's first by Trustee Costa,
Second.
second by Trustee Yukich. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Kajanis?
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Suisse?
Aye.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, the next portion of this meeting is reports and communications from the mayor and other officers. I'll start it out. Another grant for Homer Glen. I'm happy to report that the village has secured yet another grant. As residents know, the village works hard to bring back federal and state grant money to the village of Homer Glen. On Saturday, I joined Governor Quinn and other mayors as the governor announced the 2013 recipients of the State of Illinois Open Space Land Acquisition and Development Grants, commonly referred to as OSLID. Photos of the event are being shown on the screen tonight. Well, not yet. Homer Glen is one of only 36 entities in the state to receive an OSLID grant award this year. The $171,000 grant received by the village will help Homer Glen to develop our Goodings Grove Park. This park will be the village of Homer Glen's fourth park in our ever-growing and improving municipal park system. Trustee and Park and Recreation Committee Chairperson Marcia DeVivo will provide additional details in her report. I congratulate the committee and our village staff for the great work that they have done to secure yet another grant to benefit the residents of Homer Glen. Under Earth Day Arbor Day event, I hope Homer Glen's residents take advantage of the free village-sponsored event. Earth Day Arbor Day, which is once again taking place at Kono's Farm from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Trustee Sabo will provide additional details about this annual event under her report this evening. Under video gaming, the Administration and Finance Committee will be considering an ordinance to allow video gaming per state law in Homer Glen. I'm 100% in support of this action. We have spoken to a number of communities that have instituted video gaming early in 2013. To date, we have not uncovered any difficulties that these communities have faced. With this knowledge in hand, it's easy for me now to support responsible and legal video gambling. Yet further, I will be asking the village board to support my initiative to dedicate all the revenue from video gaming to pay for, now that it's a new revenue source, pay for and upgrade Opticom devices at intersections within the corporate boundaries of the village of Homer Glen. By doing this, the village of Homer Glen will be assuring quick response and travel times through Homer Glen intersections so that our intergovernmental partners at 3 fire protection districts are available to get fire trucks and ambulances to residents in Homer Glen quickly. The Village of Homer Glen's share of the gambling proceeds will therefore be dedicated to intersection emergency response equipment that may help to save lives. I urge the Village Board to support my initiative regarding video gambling and dedicate video gambling receipts to pay for Optagon installations at intersections. This video gaming receipts that we'll be getting, as long as we have video gambling in town, will definitely exceed in years the Optagon services that are needed here in Homer Glen. So the funds will be used down the road for other activities also. But in creating this new revenue stream, if we pass that, I believe it will be a good use of the money. Signage. Village staff has been working hard to institute the changes that the village board put in place for temporary business signs. Those efforts are certainly noticeable around the community. I want to thank all the businesses that have worked with us to ensure a level playing field for everybody utilizing temporary business signs in Homer Glen. Under congratulations, I would like to congratulate Homer Glen resident John Roberts for his recent appointment to the position of Chief of Police for the Forest Preserve District of Cook County. John is a former Chicago Police Department captain and co-founder of the Heroin Epidemic Relief Organization. Under achievements, I'd like to congratulations to the Homer Glen resident and offensive football player Patrick Ward for signing a contract to play football with the Miami Dolphins next season. Good job, Patrick. Congratulations also goes out to the Homer Heat 9 and under for winning the HAC Spring Classic Baseball Tournament. And that concludes my report. How about we start with reports down with Trustee Costa?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, just briefly, a reminder, our Spring Fest, Community Fest is going to be June 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. That's a Thursday through Sunday. It is on 151st and Cream Road, same location we've had it the last 2 years. So the event is, all the planning is going quite well. Just want to remind everybody also, we also have the parade on that Saturday, the 22nd. So any groups, organizations, anybody that wants to be in the parade, call the township administrator, the township office, get an application, get a bunch of neighbors together, blocks, and come out and march in the parade. Or if you're not going to do that, just be out to the parade to support everybody else that's in it. Volunteers, we are always looking for volunteers. We have 4 days that this event is running. A number of items we need to take care of on an hourly basis. It's a good time if you're a high school student, you need community service, you can put in a lot of hours and get it behind you. So if you need community service, you'd like to donate some time to the event, you can call the township office or the village office, give your name and contact information, and trust me, you will be called to volunteer. Mr. Mayor, that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Costa, and congratulations on your second term as a trustee.
Thank you.
Trustee Yukich?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I would like to thank the residents of the village for putting the 3 of us back in office. Well, 2 of us back in office, and Sharon, first timer. Congratulations. Welcome to the team. The only thing I have is school's going to be getting out in another week and a half, so if everyone could please watch their speed. The kids are going to be out. It's later outside right now. We just want to make sure everyone's safe. And the first Wednesday of next month, we will be having the safety and public service meeting, and burning will be on the agenda, so please come to the meeting. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Yukich, and also congratulations.
Thank you.
Trustee Sabo?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to be reporting on the Environment Committee. The first item is stargazing. And stargazing is being tentatively planned for July 12th. The committee has not weighed in on this yet, but that is the date when the astronomy groups are available in that month. And this replaces the spring date where we were rained out. Arbor Day. The tree planting for Arbor Day took place on Thursday, May 2nd. That was also a rain date at Goodings Grove School. All the classes were present. Presentations were made by the principal, 2 students, and the Environment Committee. Lighting ordinance. The date for the combined meeting with the Community and Economic Development Committee will take place, and the Environment Committee, to discuss the lighting ordinance on Wednesday, May 22nd. Now for the report about Earth Day Arbor Day. and that's coming up really soon. It's just less than a week away this Saturday. The time is from 11 till 4. The committee is still looking for volunteers to help. This is always a fun event, and Trustee Yukich has already appealed to high school students, and we're doing the same. This year, the event has increased in size and in quality, and it has about 91 participants. The day features a popular entertainment, 11:30 a.m., Jim Nessie and the Cold-Blooded Creatures. Big Run Wolf Ranch, owned by Jim Basil, from 2:45 to 3:45. And different types of incredible bats will be available to view all during the event. The Illinois Horse Rescue of Will County will be bringing rescued miniature horses, and Rich Escudia will be featuring the sport of falconry. Pilcher Park Nature Center will show their collection of wildlife and educate children about the value of nature. An abundance of free activities will be found for children, such as pony rides, hay rides, and a petting zoo. Children have the opportunity and are encouraged to work creatively on a number of projects. The Homer Glen Home Depot will provide free workshop kits, and employees will help children make birdhouses. There will be demonstrations of creative skills by vendors, such as basket making, blacksmithing, and some jewelry, and there will be abundance of free giveaways. There's also going to be, there are donations from various vendors and businesses, and there will be a donation area where the visitors can buy donation tickets, and their name can be drawn for something wonderful, such as a tree, or bushes, or roses, hanging baskets, so forth. The unique earth-friendly marketplace has been expanded to include vendors selling jewelry, ceramics, photographs, paintings, purses, baskets, hand-carved decoys, birdhouses, gourds, local honey, garden art, and live garden plants, soaps, natural creams, lotions, and more. So it's a good place to shop for any holiday or someone's birthday or even Christmas. Many displays will feature eco-friendly products and energy-saving techniques for indoors and outdoors. Antique and eco-friendly cars will be on display, as well as Bloom Township High School's bio-powered VW Jetta. The Homer Glen Junior Women's Club has volunteered to provide many needed assistance, and high school students are also welcome to earn their community service hours. This fun and educational Homer Glen event is possible through the generous sponsorship of NICOR, Willowbrook Ford, Waste Management, Conow's Corn Maze, Costco, Muir Plumbing, Once Upon a Child, Christine Shower, Apple Chevrolet, Cheerling Nursery, and Woodbine Country Club. The admission is free, the parking is free, and everything is free unless you want to eat. So for more information, the Homer Glen website or www.earth.day.info for more information. The website has been updated, and you will be surprised at the amount of activities that are available for the public. This is one of the most comprehensive Earth Day and Arbor Day events in the area. I hope you will take advantage of this free event and bring your children, your grandchildren, bring yourself. You will be amazed. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Sabo. Trustee K. Janice?
No report at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Trustee Suisse? Would
No
you like to
report.
say anything? Welcome to the trustee's seat. I hope it treats you well. Trustee DeVivo?
I think I'll wait, if you don't mind, Mayor. I think I'll wait until we put the PowerPoint on about the park. Then
Okay.
I'll give some information.
Okay, then
Or
that,
do
that
you do it
concludes.
now? Okay. You might as well, go ahead then.
Okay. Just going to give a quick presentation. As the mayor mentioned, we received, the village applied for a grant in June of 2012 for a park in the Goodings Grove subdivision. The 3.5 acre parcel, which is highlighted in orange on the slide above, in the Goodings Grove subdivision, was donated to the village as part of the subdivision. We applied for a grant for the site in 2012, and we just received word that we were successful on our application. This is a draft of our site plan. It includes a basketball court, a volleyball court, 2 playground areas, a large picnic shelter, a swing set, and then some various other amenities and a walking path. The total amount of the grant, or the total project amount is $341,000, and the grant amount is $170,000. And we have $173,000 restricted in the park fund for this grant already from park donation. And here's another little site plan that shows kind of what we're doing at this park project. And that's all.
Okay, Trustee DeVivo, go ahead.
Thank you, Aaron. I just have to really comment on staff. The work that they do is just tremendous. We wouldn't really have gotten all these grants if we didn't have someone who could really put them on paper. It's so important to be able to describe the project when you submit it, and they do a wonderful job, and really thank you, Aaron, for doing this. This is great. This park, I don't know if you could tell on there, it's actually Glengarry and Greystone Drive. So it's right near the, I think it's the Greek Orthodox? Is it Greek?
Just down the street from
Yes.
Meyer.
The
Down the
Serbian.
street from Meyer.
Yes.
That's right. That's how we're
Just
going to
north of
describe it.
Meyer.
It's going to be down the street from Meyer. But it will be a very nice amenity to that subdivision, and I think maybe spur some potential growth there. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Trustee DeVivo. Is there a treasurer's report?
There are no treasurer's report, Mayor.
Is there a clerk's report?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Does the village attorney have a report?
No report this evening, Mr. Mayor.
How about any task force chairpersons? How about any public safety officials? Mark, Joe? Okay, does the village manager have a report?
I have a very brief report, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to welcome our new trustee. Congratulations to the existing trustees. Many people in the audience might not know this, but Trustee Suisse was actually has helped us out in the office for a period of time over the past couple of years. So we know Sharon very well, and she's actually helped to put together village board packets. So she was already very familiar with them before she became elected. So we're glad to work with her. Director Salamovich is going to give the board, if you don't mind, a brief update on the progress to date on the very important Oak Valley Stormwater Improvement Project. So, Michael, if you could.
As the village manager had mentioned, just a brief update on the Oak Valley Drainage Project. This is a project to reconstruct the central detention pond in the subdivision. The engineering has been completed. We are anticipating, or it is scheduled to be advertised in the IDOT bulletin on Thursday of this week, and the bid opening is scheduled for the 29th of this month. What we anticipate doing then is once we have the bid opening, the bids will be reviewed, and we hope to bring that to the first meeting, the village board meeting in June for board approval.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions about that? It's moving along very well. I'm putting this up to my mouth because they tell me I don't speak loud enough, so I'm going to do that. Just one more thing about the grant. First of all, thank you to Trustee DeVivo for the Park and Recreation Committee's support and for your nice comments. We went down to Springfield to give a presentation on the grant, and of course, Trustee DeVivo gave that presentation, so she needs to include herself in the kudos. There were over 200 communities and park districts and governmental entities that applied for this round of the OSLOD grants. Only 30-some people and entities were selected. So it was a very select group of people at the governor's announcement this past Saturday, and we're thrilled to be able to move forward with this grant. This, I think, is our second or third OSLOD grant, at least the second. So we're fourth. Oh, the fourth. I didn't even know about one, so that's outstanding. This community has been very blessed by OSLOD grants. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. That concludes reports and communications from the mayor and other officers. The next portion of this meeting would be public comment. We try to keep it to 3 minutes. Our first speaker is John Coy. John, if you'd step up and give us your name and address for the record.
John Coy, 12056 Venetian Way, Homer, Glen. You just covered part of what I was going to talk about, and that was the water. Yankees Park over there, before we put that trail in and put in all kinds of retention area for water, never flooded the way it flooded, even when 2 years ago, when all the trustees and the mayor and myself were out there when we had one of the worst rains in the shortest period of time ever. Now, with this last long rain, we had worse water where it was right to the backside of the curb, ready to go over the street. Now, I went after that and I drove over to Oak Valley, like you're talking about. We have an engineer over there, right, which is looking at putting a bigger retention area in. The problem I'm thinking might wind up is like 143rd Street. Since they started on that, they put new sewers in, and they are bringing the water from Bell Road down 143rd, then down Will Cook, and right into Long Run Creek, which runs alongside of Yankees Park. Now, what you're going to have a problem, I think, because if you take a trip down 159th Street, look south, everything's downhill. When you start putting in 159th Street, I think the engineer that's helping us out with 159th Street should look at the water problem we might wind up with at the bottom of that hill on the south side. It can't take any more water, and if IDOT figures on using that for a discharge to get the water from 159th Street into the Forest Reserve, them poor people down there and the water filtration plant will be flooded worse than what it's been getting. Thank you.
Thank you, John. The next speaker would be Susan Jones. If you take the mic, Susan, and give us your name and address for the record.
Susan Jones, 14424 Gatzis Lane. I'm speaking on behalf of the Homer Glen Plaza that's up for rezoning today. Since the structure is to be built and it was going from C1 to C2, I want to make it known that we are not very pleasurable for the C2. Once it is zoned C2, it cannot be changed back to C1. Once it happens, it happens. You can't go back. And I know that George does not have any plans on selling the property, but things in life happen. We don't know what the future holds. If it's zoned C2, there is a possibility of some unwanted businesses entering there. I really do not want to have that happen. Kmart was a C2. So if that property is sold, there's no intentions of it being sold now, I understand that, but life does happen. So with it being C2, there's a possibility of other businesses coming in that are not conducive to being in the residential neighborhood. When we bought our property, which is behind the proposed building, we spoke to George about his being commercial, and we said that's fine. He said he was building a one-story strip mall. We said that's okay, we can live with the one-story strip mall. During that time, he has changed it now to a two-story, which has been approved and getting set to being built along with the zoning. I do want to bring mention to the board's meeting from January 21st, 2008. The Plan Commission had denied it being rezoned to a C2. I do have the minutes from that meeting. I don't know if you want me to read them, stating why they didn't want it to go to C2. It said Jeff Metz states that there were some uses in the C2 district that the village did not want, so it was easier to make it a C1 and add the uses that they specifically wanted for the property. Lindley Eltert explains that for the Phase 1 development, there were too many uses in the C2 district that the commission and village board did not want. They decided they did not want to see C2 zoning in this location, so it was decided to place a more restrictive C1 zoning on the property and then allow more specific uses to be allowed in the C2 zoning. At that time, Phase 1 was before the village developer. The developer was in agreement in leaving the C1 district with some C2 uses allowed. So I just wanted to bring that up when you think of that today when you're voting on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker would be Chris Jones. Okay. Okay, the next speaker then would be Hashim Anab. Is that correct?
Yeah, Hashim opened up. I live 12356 West Prairie Court, Homer Glen. I'm wondering about like this. I have ice cream company, okay, little ice cream company. I have like ice cream trucks, vendors, something like that. And so sometimes I bring my truck sometime like to my house. I see a police officer come here, say, we can't park your truck over here. I tell him I just came to pick up something like that. And they think I'm selling ice cream, you know what I mean? So, and I'm willing to get like a permit for selling ice cream in this village over here, because it was like Orland, some around here, townships around here, there was no permit to sell ice cream, but now they start like processing that, you know. That's my question, or what I need exactly, you know. If you're getting like a license to sell ice cream, better to have any ice cream truck to come around here with no permits, with no health insurance, with no, inspection, no insurance, nothing. You don't know any idea about who is came, selling ice cream, and is gone. You know what I mean? That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker would be, do I have that right? Okay. This is your chance to speak, though, in public comment. Okay. Megan Boyd? Okay. Okay, that concludes public comment. The next portion of this meeting is legislation and action items. Is there a motion to approve a proclamation declaring May 2013 Building Safety Month in the Village of Homer Glen?
So moved.
First by trustee DeVivo,
I second.
second by trustee Swees. I believe the head of the building department would like to say a couple words. We can do that if you want. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee DeVivo.
Aye.
Trustee Kate Janis.
Aye.
Trustee Sabo.
Aye.
Trustee Suisse.
Aye.
Trustee Yukich.
Aye.
Trustee Costa.
Aye.
Motion carries. And now Joe would like to say a couple words about this,
Thank you.
this
Thank
motion.
you. I'd just like to thank the mayor and the board for recognition of the public safety officials, the fire department, the building department, and also wanted to mention that we will have a booth at Earth Day Arbor Day this weekend on a Saturday. Sometimes it gives residents an opportunity to ask us questions regarding building permits or other fire safety related issues. Once again, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, may I also say something
Sure.
regarding our building part and Joe? And this last weekend, temporary church opened up in Homer Glen. It was the first service. And I just want to say that the parishioners and the priests talking to them were very, very happy with the assistance that the village building department gave, also fire protection, to get to the point of having an occupancy for this Sunday, their first service in Homer Glen. So I just want to pass that along to the building department and fire protection as well.
Thank you. Okay, this would be H2. Is there a motion to approve the purchase of a 2013 Ford F-250 four-wheel drive Super Cab vehicle? It is understood that the purchase price of this vehicle will not exceed $24,082.
So moved.
First by trustee Costa,
Second.
second by trustee Yukich. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Kate Janis.
Aye.
Trustee Sabo.
Aye.
Trustee Suisse.
Aye.
Trustee Yukich.
Aye.
Trustee Costa.
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo.
Aye.
Motion carries. This would be H3. Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 13-025, an ordinance amending section 13 of ordinance number 01-022, providing for the control of alcoholic liquor within the village of Homer Glen? It is understood that the number of Class H liquor licenses, club licenses, will increase from 0 to 1 within the village of Homer Glen.
So moved.
First by trustee DeVivo.
I second.
Second by trustee Swees. Is there any discussion?
I have one
Trustee
question, Mayor.
Costa, or trustee Yukich?
On the form, it says a Class H license are for clubs.
It's considered a club license, that's just the
Right.
name of it.
All right, no, I understand that, but I mean, under the ordinance, it also says that if it's a club license, it has to be for members of the club only. Doesn't mean that they can serve outside the
Kim, you
membership.
want to explain it?
Absolutely. The liquor license is for the church and for events that the church holds for members. As you know, we're not present at every event. We can't, we're not present in seeing the dispensing of alcohol, but they are aware that the license is for the church, for the benefit of their members and the benefit of the activities that the church sponsors at the facility.
Okay, and I mean, I understand that, but I mean,
Yeah.
just so they understand, it's for the members, it's not for the
Right.
general public.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Suisse? Aye. Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Janis.
Aye.
Motion carries. This would be H4. Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 13-026, an ordinance assigning an available Class H liquor license club to St. John the Baptist Serbian Orthodox Church located at 13847 South Bell Road, Homer Glen, Illinois?
So moved.
First by trustee DeVivo,
Second.
second by trustee Kate Janis. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Suisse?
Aye.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Janis.
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Motion carries. So everybody understands that we create the liquor license before issuing it because it doesn't exist. We don't leave it on the books. This would be H5. Is there a motion to assign a Class J liquor license, special events license to the Village of Homer Glen for the Homer Community Festival occurring on June 20th through June 23rd?
Mayor,
Yes, this is one of the changes that'll be made. It's a motion to assign a Class J liquor license, special events, to Homer Township for the Homer Community Festival occurring on June 20th through June 23rd. That's the way the motion should read.
yes, so moved.
First by trustee Yukich, second by trustee Costa.
Yes.
Question by trustee DeVivo.
Do you need to change item 2 in here? It says village-owned property.
Right.
Does that make
The,
a difference?
it will be adjusted
Okay.
per the motion. Right.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Janis.
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Suisse?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to assign a Class E liquor license, temporary license to St. Bernard's Catholic Parish located at 14135 South Parker Road, Homer Glen, for the Weekend at Bernie's event occurring on May 31st and June 1st, 2013?
I so move.
I
First-
second.
First by trustee Sabo, second by who is it?
I second.
Trustee Sweez. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Janis.
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Suisse?
Aye.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Motion carries. This would be H7. Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 13-027, an ordinance granting a corner side yard setback variance from the applicable regulations of the zoning ordinance for the property commonly known as 16856 South Brentwood Drive, Homer Glen, Illinois, and which is located in the R2 Single Family Residential Zoning District, Beller.
I so move.
That's first by trustee Sabo,
Second.
second by trustee Kate Janis. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I just would like to say Mr. Beller's in the audience tonight in case the board has any questions.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Beller? Madam-
Can we have discussion? We're gonna-
Yeah, it is discussion right now.
Okay.
You have a question?
I did have a question. I just don't know why this is being moved so many times. Moved into a, the 50-foot setback. So I just,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first.
I said I would like to know why this has been moved so many times. It's unusual to have so many moves here, and now it's, and what we're voting on is within the 50-foot setback.
Sure. There were two structures originally constructed, both within the 50-foot setback. The Plan Commission's recommendation was to move the shed structure out of the setback, which Mr. Beller complied with. The other structure, which is a clubhouse, which is a deck with a shed-type structure on it, was not moved. The Plan Commission recommended that the building department review that structure. That structure has not moved. It was constructed within the setback, but has not moved since the time of construction. That is the structure that Mr. Beller is applying for variance on,
And
for
he
that
did what?
location.
He did what?
That's the structure that he's requesting the variance on. The shed has moved to a conforming location on the lot.
Okay, variance is usually a hardship,
Correct.
and this was put in the 50-foot setback without going for a permit. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And then now it's in the 50-foot setback, and now we're expected to vote on a variance, whether he should have a variance or not.
That is the case as it is before you.
The Plan Commission did discuss the issue of hardship. You noticed, of course, that they recommended approval, but one of the Plan Commission members, I think in particular, voted against it because he did not feel that a hardship existed. So that's the recommendation from the Plan Commission.
Yes, I did read that, and when we talk about a variance or we talk about a hardship, there isn't really a hardship. This one was self-imposed. He put it in the wrong place, and I think that should be made clear. Other people, you have to abide by the rules of the Village of Homer Glen, and I believe this would set a precedent that other people would decide it's easier to just pay for your variance and take the time to do it, and then not have to move the structure that you put in the wrong place without a permit.
Aaron, how long has the structure been in place?
I believe since approximately October 2012.
Would
The
you like to
petitioner?
answer that? Maybe it'd be better if it came from you.
Sure, if it's not being disrespectful.
No, please.
Why don't you step up to the microphone? And if you could give us your name and address for the record.
My name is Tom Beller. I live at 16856 South Brentwood Court, Homer Glen. The structure was originally built in October, and the reason that I applied for the hardship variance was the way that the land it's very steep drop off. And I mean, for me, quite honestly, I'm getting married this year, and I had a 12-year-old in mind because I wanted to use that land. It was never used before in the 30 years prior. I cleaned it up. I admit I didn't know how I was going to build it, but I definitely wanted to use the land. And that's when I came up with the idea of the deck. I do take full responsibility for the fact that I didn't go through the exact permit process. And I do take responsibility for that, and I have paid all fines in relation to that. But that was what was in my head, was how can I build something that would be safe to use that land, because there's an easement at the bottom of that property, and it is quite steep. So I've spent a year cleaning it up, trying to make it look sharp from the street, as well as to use the property. And that's why I applied for the hardship variance, is just simply because of the way the natural foundation just is steep down there, you know?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Is there any further discussion or questions?
I just feel that the real issue with me is not getting a permit, and we know people, friends and relatives, that have to get permits to do the right thing. So now I understand that you did have a hardship, so there's a difference, but still the permit is really an issue.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee DeVivo.
Aye.
Trustee Kate Janice.
Aye.
Trustee Sabo.
Aye.
Trustee Suisse.
Aye.
Trustee Yukich.
Aye.
Trustee Costa.
Aye.
Okay, congratulations. Okay, this would be H8, H8. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 13-010, a resolution approving certain revisions for the Hidden Cove subdivision? The revisions requested by the developer of the Hidden Cove subdivision include the following. Excuse me. The elimination of the security gates at the entrance to Hidden Cove Court and Spaniel Lake Court. The elimination of the dock at the north end of Spaniel Lake, and the elimination of the walking path at the north end of the subdivision surrounding Lot 5. The developer agrees to provide the necessary access paths as required by the village for the dam and outfall relief structures.
So moved.
First by trustee Costa,
Second.
second by trustee Yukich. Any discussion?
Mayor, if I could just mention, because
Go right ahead.
the public, it's kind of unique that the way the items are laid out on the agenda. So this is one of our unique subdivisions in that we've got both Cook County and Will County, and most people don't think of Homer Glen and Cook County together. So the next two motions that are coming, I just thought I would mention now, are repeat motions. One is required because of Cook County, and one is required because of Will County. So I just wanted to mention it.
And to piggyback on what the village manager said, most of the trustees have been out there to see this. These changes in the subdivision are good changes. They're just not made because the developer just doesn't want to put the money into the subdivision. They have I believe it's a Class 1 dam in there that we've had issues with. I think it was actually 2 years ago that we had to move some people out of their houses down below the dam. The highway superintendent had to come in and put some riprap in there to secure the water that was going around the dam. We certainly don't want walking paths and things of that nature in that area. So these are good changes, and I support them. So are there any questions for the village manager, or we just move on?
I would just say too, just the developer and the owner are in the audience. If you have any questions, they'd be happy to answer.
Okay, so we had a first and a second. Did we vote on 8A?
Not yet.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Trustee Sabo?
I just wanted to ask the developer, the number of homes that are there, 15, are there still going to be 15 homes there?
There's 15 lots in the subdivision. One was owned by the prior owner of the property, so there's 14 lots that the owner of the property has that are for sale.
Do you feel it's possible to build that many homes on the lot with the number of trees that are left, and that these trees will survive?
No restrictions on it. One keep them down, but there is a buildable pad for homes on the main lots, yes.
And the home that exists, I did talk with the person I'm dealing with, Tom Catchy, here recently, that's trying to get this subdivision back out of disrepair. There may be an interested party in the home that exists that has pretty much been abandoned and has a lot of water damage to it. So it's moving along well.
And Mayor, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce, that's Timothy Finley from Marquette Bank. That's who spoke for the record.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Kate Janice.
Aye.
Trustee Sabo.
Aye.
Trustee Suisse.
Aye.
Trustee Yukich.
Aye.
Trustee Costa.
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo.
Aye.
Motion carries. This would be 8B. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 13-028, an ordinance approving a plat of easement for public utilities in the Hidden Cove subdivision, Village of Homer Glen, Will County, Illinois?
I so move.
First by trustee Suisse,
Second.
second by trustee Kate Janice. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Sabo.
Aye.
Trustee Suisse.
Aye.
Trustee Yukich.
Aye.
Trustee Costa.
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo.
Aye.
Trustee Kate Janice.
Motion carries. This would be 8C. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 13-029, an ordinance approving a plat of easement for public utilities in the Hidden Cove subdivision, Village of Homer Glen, Cook County, Illinois.
So moved.
First by trustee Costa, second by trustee DeVivo. Is there any discussion? I believe, for the record, I believe there's 3 homes in that subdivision. Is it 3 or what is it? It's 3 lots, not homes. 3 lots that are actually in Cook County. So that's the purpose of this. Is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Suisse.
Aye.
Trustee Yukic.
Aye.
Trustee Costa.
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo.
Aye.
Trustee Kajanis.
Aye.
Trustee Sabo.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Good luck with that Marquette Bank. Tell Tom, good luck with it also. This would be 9. Is there a motion to consider for approval ordinance number 13-030, an ordinance granting a map amendment, amending the zoning classification of certain real property hereinafter legally described and located at 14401 West 143rd Street, Homer Glen, Illinois, from C1 Neighborhood Commercial District to C2 Local Business District, Homer Glen Center.
So move.
Conditioned upon the following: the recordation of the plat of subdivision approved during the 2008 PUD approval that depicted lots 1, 2, and an outlot A.
So moved.
First by trustee Kajanis,
Second.
second by trustee DeVivo. Is there any discussion? Trustee Costa?
Mr. Mayor, just for a point of clarification, if we look at the attachment A, part of that is already zone C2, is that correct? In the
That's
paper?
correct.
Yes.
So what they're asking for is to zone the blue section, which would be just to the east of that, to make the entire parcel C2?
That's correct.
Thank you.
It's a unique situation. Typically, you wouldn't see that kind of zoning in the same development right next to each other. I'm sure there's a history to that, but that is correct, trustee Costa.
Okay, is there any further discussion?
Yes, I have something. Yes, I
Sure.
do.
Go ahead.
Yes, one of them is C2, and the neighbors objected to that greatly. The neighbors in any conflict in zoning like this, where it's commercial to residential, really need protection. And we have situations like that. Our residents are very important to us. Here's a business, or here's some rezoning that's coming in. It's very important to protect our residents and their property values. The C1, I'd say the C1 is appropriate. I really don't, I'm not in favor of the C2, because in the C2, there are some things that can be built there without special use. In C1, some of those questionable ones would have to have a special use permit. If a drive-in can go in a C2, and then we have truck deliveries on the back of the building, it's kind of complicated there. I also was not in favor of the C2 before of the other parcel. I believe it is a wrong zoning for this area. There are too many residential areas around there. It's like I'm not correct when I say spot zoning, but it's out of place. And I appreciate Jones, Mrs. Jones that came, and she has been vigilant at trying to protect the area. I just feel it's not the right place, and there isn't enough of a buffer to protect the residents. I think that we manage properties better if this were a C1, and then special use would be considered. That's better management than just giving a C2 to this, and then there are questionable types of business that could go in this area. I'm not saying C2 is wrong in other areas. It's wrong in this one.
All I can say is somebody that is in touch with the larger plan of the area is the county has every intention of widening 143rd Street all the way to 355. The fact of the matter is that $10 million is already secured for the intersection of 143rd and Bell. That 143rd Street corridor is going to have a significant change as time moves on. And if I also stand correct, any plan comes through a PUD for approval. At that point in time, am I correct about this, village manager?
Right.
I think you are going to be very surprised at the profile of 143rd Street in the future, and there is a lot of business planned for 143rd Street. So that's just my input on it. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Sure.
With the widening of 143rd, but that would make that parcel a lot more narrow, because you have a right-of-way, you have a wider street.
Well, the good I can answer that. The good fortune that this particular parcel has is that there's a considerable amount of parkway in the front, as you can kind of tell by the plan that's already been approved. So they have some leeway already in place. But having said that, you know, phase 1 and phase 2 plans for the improvement, you know, are a little ways away. And those will have to be dealt with, you know, down the road with the county. But they do have some benefit here with some added parkway. It's not the same as maybe some of the other areas of the community where we have buildings already in place right up next to the road.
Right, well, I was just
There's
concerned
some
about backing
flexibility.
it up closer to the residential area.
Right, right. Well, it can't go any farther back.
Well, I mean,
And
right,
this
right.
is, yeah, what you see before you is actually the plan that was approved.
Okay.
So if it went back farther, there's an access in the back of the current development that allows for deliveries and for traffic to move around the buildings. If it went back farther, you would not be able to get around the buildings for delivery or for access. And what you find, I think Janie would probably back me up on this, what you find on strip centers like this today is very few people build strip centers all the way to the back of a property, and then they have to front load all their deliveries. You don't see that very often anymore, so. Is that
Thank you.
correct? Yeah.
Okay. I believe trustee Kay Janis wanted to say
Yes, I
something.
did. So we are looking at putting the whole piece together as a C2. Right at this point in time, we've already approved it as a, part of it as a C2. We're looking to put it all together as a C2 for marketability. There's no end user recognized at this time, and all end users would have to come through the board, whether it be a drive-through for a special or what have you. But this opens up more opportunities for development of this property. I urge my fellow trustees this consideration of approval for this reason. I do not believe it'd be a detriment to this area. It's already approved to have driveway in the back end of the delivery area, I guess you could say, on the back end of the building. But this does open up more opportunities for the developer and the owner to market the product that he has.
I go back to saying that the protection device in this is that whatever Mr. Gatz brings forward in the future, you are going to be able to see and either approve it as he brings it forward or ask him to make changes based upon, if the changes aren't made, you will not support the project. But as trustee Kay Janis stated, there is current zoning for C2 there. That's, like I say, everybody has their own opinion.
Well, I just want to address the issue of the C2. I didn't think it belonged there in the first place, but because what happens, it's like dominoes. Now another C2 is being considered, and more C2s will be considered along the corridor. We know that this is supposed to be a commercial corridor. I am not objecting to that at all. The comprehensive plan does say that. It was not supposed to, it was supposed to be a little different type of business corridor. And it was not supposed to be the heavier commercial area that you do see around 143rd and Bell. So I think the people then that are living along 143rd and enjoying that lifestyle should be warned that their conditions are going to change. It looks like if there are so many businesses that want to come in there, it looks like it's different than what the comprehensive plan had described.
Just to follow up on that for a second, if I'm correct, C3 is a much more general use.
Well, C3 is your most advantageous use. That's what the Kmart was switched to from the probably inappropriate zoning of C2 that it was. So, yeah, this is not C3.
Yeah,
C3
they're
is
not-
the most advantageous.
Yeah, they're not asking for the most intense use of the property. nor are they asking for the least intensive use for the property as commercial. They've already been granted a portion of it for C2, so they're somewhere in the middle. And with the road going to be widened and the future plan's going to happen, I would support this.
Mayor, if I could, one thing that, and I know it's kind of been talked a little bit about and talked around, usually the number one item when you rezone from a C1 from a C2 is drive-through. Drive-through. People are concerned about drive-through. They're concerned about stacking and, you know, the noise that cars can make when they're waiting and the speakers and stuff like that. So the project that has already been approved for these two parcels, you know, it's already been approved. There's a building plan. Everything's already. None of them include a drive-through. Okay, if Mr. Gatz's or a developer that he works with wants to put a drive-through on these parcels at some date in the future, they have to go through the full process. Okay, the full process with the plan, with staff, with the village board, with the plan commission. They have to figure out screening. They have to figure out, you know, how cars will move on the property. So as the property is currently laid out for development, there's no drive-through. Okay, if it changes, then it has to go through the whole process, and you get the opportunity to make it exactly like you wanted it.
And that's, as we go back to, that's the beauty of a PUD. But
Right.
what this does for Mr. Gatz is it allows him to market his property and allows the people that have certain intended uses to come to this village board and the plan commission and say, are these appropriate uses? But there's a much more, or there's a larger venue that he can look at for possibilities in C2 than he can in C1. And like I said before, part of the property is already C2. Is there any further, Trustee DeVivo?
Just a comment, I live on that side of town, and hasn't anyone noticed how much traffic's on 143rd already? It has changed so dramatically since 355 opened up. It's unbelievable. So it's just a matter of time. Once
It's the
they
third
widen
busiest
it,
street, yeah.
it's just such a busy street now. It wasn't like that before. So I don't feel uncomfortable with this. I think that the village, with the PUD process, has certainly protected the residents, and everything has to come back to the board, plan commission, and everything will be reviewed to the max. So I'm comfortable with this.
And in any type of development that comes forward on the Gatz property, they're going to have to notify neighbors. You'll hear from the neighbors at that point in time what they think of the proposed development. So this is just basically giving him the ability to go out and contact the potential users that can start discussion with the village as far as bringing in their entity to that property. Is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee K. Janice?
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
No.
Trustee Suisse?
No.
Motion carries. Okay, that would be 9. This would be H10. It is understood that all appointments are for the period of 1 year unless otherwise noted. Is there a motion to approve the Mayor's Administration and Finance Committee appointments of Trustee Marcia DeVivo, Trustee Ted K. Janice, Trustee Mike Costa, and Mayor Daley shall serve as the chair? That's just one. And the Mayor's Community and Economic Development Committee appointments of Chairperson Trustee Ted K. Janice, and committee members Laura Bugis, Patrick Dwyer, Tim Hillman, Jihad Mettengale, Joseph Piers, Christopher Plencher, Bill Thompson, and Matt Ziska. And the Mayor's Environmental Committee appointments of Chairperson Trustee Margaret Sabo, and committee members Cynthia Raja, Kathy Cudlow, Bob Moses, Randy Juris, Trustee Sharon Swees, Gary White, Hirsch Collins, and Sue Stylen. In the Mayor's Homer Harvest Days Committee appointments of committee members Trustee Sharon Swees, Trustee Margaret Sabo, Bernie Kucharski, Randy Juris, Nancy Strack, and Matt Ziska. And the Mayor's Parade and Festival Committee appointments of committee members, Trustee Mike Costa, Trustee George Yukich, Gail Skaboten, Yelena Bose, and Carlo Caprio. And the Mayor's Park and Recreation Committee appointments of Chairperson Trustee Marcia DeVivo and committee members Kevin Hoffmeister, Dale Jensen, Bernie Chikarsky, Ed Cryer, and Ron Janitis. And the Mayor's Public Services and Safety Committee appointments of co-chairpersons, Trustee Mike Costa and Trustee George Yukich, and committee members Gregory Weiss, Chris Locasius, Lawrence Wishpa, Robert Schmidt, Lawrence Conrad, Chester Donati, and Ray Horvath. And the Mayor's Plan Commission appointments of Chairman Kevin Hoffmeister and commission members Jay Bradrick and Don Mitchell. I do have to make one further appointment to the Plan Commission. I talked with that person today, and she'll be getting her resume in to us for the next meeting. She wasn't on this. First by Trustee Costa.
Second.
Second by Trustee Yukich. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa.
Aye.
Trustee DeVivo.
Aye.
Trustee Kate Janice. Trustee Sabo.
Aye.
Trustee Suisse.
Aye.
Trustee Yukich.
Aye.
Motion carries. Boy, that was a big motion.
That was a big motion.
This would be H11. Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 13-031? An ordinance authorizing the final planned unit development plan approved to Meyer Store Limited Partnership for the Meyer Store development in Homer Glen. First by Trustee Kajanis, second by Trustee DeVivo. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I would just say you have two representatives from Meyer in the audience tonight. Why don't you introduce yourselves, if you could, please, for the board?
Thank you. Mike Flickinger, Director of Real Estate for Meyer. I have also with me this evening Ben Huell. I want to thank you for listening to us this evening in regards to the Meyer store. We're very excited about, obviously, the opportunity to come back to you after our preliminary approval in September of 2008 for our final approval to basically allow for the immediate start of construction of the Meyer store. So thank you. We are available, Ben, to run through some of the things if needed and also to answer questions.
I had one question for you. I know I talked to you before the meeting, and you said you're ready to go as soon as you get final approvals. What is your guesstimated date based upon a fudge factor with weather for getting the store open?
This store is slated as a 2014 opening. Typically, our construction cycle from start to finish is around 12 months.
12 months, okay. Okay, I see the plan up there. Is somebody going to address that, or is that just showing everybody the plan?
Mayor, if you would like, they could spend a little bit of time. Why don't you go ahead, if you will, and make your presentation?
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor.
Again, my name is Ben Huell. What you see up here is the current plan for the Meyer store at 143rd and Bell Road, northeast corner. And this has been in development actually since 2001, was approved through the county at that time, moved through the process with them, went on hold and came back in 2008, which we had our preliminary approval through Homer Glen at that time, and now has finally come back around for us to begin construction. We have been working on this time since last fall, working directly with the staff, and have made some modifications through that process. The staff has asked us to take into consideration current ordinances and try to do as much as we could to meet those current ordinances, although we had an annexation agreement that at the time was agreed to that we would have to comply generally with that approved plan previously. We've been able to move through that process. Cam and Aaron and Michael and the village engineer, consulting engineer, we've gone back and forth a couple of times, and I think we've resolved almost all of the comments there. Given that, we will take your questions at this time.
Okay. I'm looking forward to you guys getting open. It's been a while. I saw the sign went up, opening soon. Well, you heard what soon is. It's a 12-month cycle. So good luck, and if anybody has any questions for these gentlemen, please just ask them.
just like to say many of our residents over all the years have been looking forward to you presenting yourself to this board and hearing the date. So I look forward to having your organization, your company in our village.
I'd just like to say also that going back to square one with Myers, I sat down and talked with them originally about the annexation of Myers into this community. Said it was very important that they get the proper name, that the Home Depot, they led the key to being able to annex that entire site there. The Menards across the street wasn't Home Depot. I thought that it would be good if they came in Homer Glen, annexed in. It would allow us to annex everything else in, which meant White Castles, Discount Tires, Chili's. This is all as a result of the Myers annexation agreement. The sales tax dollars that will be generated by Myers will be phenomenal for this community. This is the largest Myers in the southwest suburbs when completed, with a gas station and drive-up pharmacy. So this is a big thing for a town like Homer Glen. So I'm very happy, and I'm glad I had the chance to work with you, and we got to annex in the entire site that your store will be occupied on as a result of your efforts. Does anybody have anything to say?
Just a quick
Trustee
comment.
DeVivo?
Yes, we're really, really excited that you're coming to the community. And we want to know exactly when you're going to start. And the other question certainly would be is, do you have all the permits? Do you need anything? What can we do for you? We really want you here. Yeah,
We are in process. As the mayor said, we erected the sign that says "Coming Soon." We're actually in the process of getting a trailer onto the site, and our letter of credit secured with the city. We have our permits with the state to be able to break ground, and most of our approvals in place. So we can start construction, I believe, as soon as we have the letter of credit secured. Should be within the next week or so.
And I did have a question about the stormwater. I guess that the stormwater is pretty much contained in the other part of the development?
Right.
Is that how that works?
Yes, it was included in the original, for the overall site for the commercial portion of the subdivision.
Okay, that's good. All right, good.
Okay, are there any further questions for these gentlemen?
Yes, I do.
Trustee Sabo?
I'm very pleased to have Myers working with us. And when my son went to Purdue University, Myers was supposed to go there in Lafayette. And so every time I went, I said, when is there going to be a Myers? So finally he graduated and there was a Myers. The discussion that I would like to have with you concerns the lighting and the lighting ordinance. And you did say that you would comply with ordinances, and you also did say, and it's written here in a memo that we did receive, was regarding the remaining lighting comments. At this time, Myers feels that the adjustments have been made for the lighting are substantial in conformance with the original plan as previously submitted to the village in August of 2008. Myers is willing to continue working on this issue. And so I feel that that it's important to work together. As you know, we are one of 4 in the world. There are only 4, and we are a dark sky community. And there are certain things that we have. The reason we have qualified for that, one of the things is because of the light ordinance. And it's a practical ordinance. It's not imposing, doesn't burden. And we have had many great comments from people that don't even don't have a project in Homer Glen. And the other, and this has happened since we've had the agreement with Myers in 2008. This happened in the fall of 2011. But the lighting ordinance was first came into being in December 2007. So I also see by your website that you are a green grocer. You also partner with the Nature Conservancy, and that your founders were very much interested in the environment. And one of the things on your website is let's see. Since 2007, Myers has partnered with the Nature Conservancy to help our customers choose plants native to our region. They're not likely to become the next invasive plant taking over the weeds and wetlands. And then it says also that Meyer, a tradition of caring, committed to helping your community a better place to live, work, and play. And one thing hasn't changed since 1934, our commitment to giving back to the communities we serve, from developing outreach programs to fundraisers to preserving the environment. We're committed to helping our communities become better places to live, work, and play. We care about you, strive to understand your family needs, and cooperate with you and your community in order to provide the best service possible. Myers has always been a leader in finding and using new technology. I think that this is wonderful. I think this is very complimentary to Myers. So it is my hope that we could continue to work on the lighting. And the lighting, there's this lighting, our lighting ordinance gives a guide for and tries to prevent light wars. And that means that somebody's brighter, well, the next guy wants to be brighter. And then you have inconsistencies along the road that isn't good for motorists or pedestrians or people who are in the area. Their lights, their eyes have to change. So I mean, it's very important. Safety is very important. And then lighting efficiency, the ordinance addresses, and lighting efficiency is also very important. So we also know there's a study that the Lighting Institute has done that says that shoppers really do kind of go away, shy away from glare. And I believe that in your lighting canopy, it's quite high, and that I would love to work together for the right kind of lighting. I don't know what kind of lighting is here. I don't have a plan. I don't have the cut sheets. I haven't seen any pictures. So the questions I'm going to ask is, I know it's metal halide, and you are at 3,700 Kelvin. So would love to, since they do exist, there's fixtures that do exist at 33, I hope that you would consider doing that.
And I will actually tell you that is one of the things that we've continued to work with the village on, and our supplier actually. And at this time, we were able to locate through our supplier a fixture that we would be able to utilize. That's a single, the only one that they were able to find. That's a single GE fixture, and I emailed it to Cam earlier today. And Meyer is willing to commit to utilizing that fixture. So we have been working through that process, trying to find one. Actually tried to utilize the ones that the village had identified, and some of them were either no longer available or not available in the bulk that Meyer had, or not in use with the types of fixtures that we had, the hoods. So we were able to find one that works. And I emailed that to Cam earlier today, and we are going to go ahead and spec that one out. And it is a 3,000 Kelvin, I believe, at the 400 watts.
What is it, Kelvin?
I believe it's 3,000.
3,000?
Yeah, is that
Oh, very
correct?
good.
It's
My
under
other
the
question
3,300.
Is it going to be recessed under the canopy? They recess lights?
They are under the canopy fully. They are not necessarily higher than the bottom edge of the canopy. Does that make any sense? They are under the canopy. They don't stick out at all, but they are directly on the bottom of the canopy
Flush
itself.
with the canopy. That's very good. Thank you for that. That's wonderful. And then just addressing the gas station again. I know that both properties are, that the gas station properties actually have separate properties divided by the road. Okay? It's separated from your main property where your store is by a road, isn't it not?
No, we're actually one single property.
There's no road that comes through it?
Right, just to, the road is actually a private road, and they will
Correct.
have to make some improvements on that road as part of the association and stuff. Meyer actually owns up the hill. owns the road and up the hill, so that it's a big parcel. It
Correct.
includes both the gas station, the Meyer piece, and then the road is all a part of that too.
Okay, well, I just want to be clear,
Mhm.
because is it the corner parcel where the light is, and then across the street is the ice cream place? Is that the parcel?
If you can see right here, there's 143rd, and Bell is actually just off the screen to the south. And you can see the entrance there where the light is, and the Dunkin' Donuts is actually directly across from the gas station right there. So that's
So
where
you're
we
at the
sit.
corner at 100 and, at a Bell.
Correct.
Okay, well.
Yeah, it's
see that-
referred to as Goodings Grove Phase 1, Lot 9, the whole thing.
Correct.
Okay, see, I always looked at that lot as a separate entity. Okay,
Yeah.
so when the whole 18 acres plus is calculated, and the lighting is put in there, your lighting under the canopies is really very, very bright. It's and of course, and it's going to be brighter than others on that road. We have 2 other gas stations, we have other businesses there. I'm just looking at that parcel as, say, it's about 1.5 acres or so, would you say?
I haven't broken that specific
Okay, if
one
you were
out.
to think of it as, say, if it's 1.5 acres, then you
Mhm.
know that you would have 150,000 lumens in your budget. And right now, I know you exceed that. So I just wonder if there was a way that you could figure, you get the amount of lighting, and it's adequate, it reduces the amount of glare, and glare is a safety issue. And then I wanted to ask you about the parking lot lights themselves.
Mhm.
And I haven't seen a photograph on that,
Mhm.
cut sheets or anything, so what are they like? Are they full cutoff?
Yes, they're full cutoff. They'll be 25 feet tall maximum. The pole itself, I think, is 22, and then the post is at the bottom of that. So. We've actually, our standard is 32 feet with 1,000-watt metal halide bulbs, and we have reduced those from the 1,000-watt to 400 and reduced the height from the 32 feet down to the 25 in order to try to get as close as we could with the current ordinance. Doing that also increased the number of poles that we had to have out there for the light coverage. So it's at a substantial cost to Meyer.
Okay. So these are some of the lighting changes that you have made since 2008. Can you tell me
Correct.
some others?
I think that's probably about it. Since 2008, we've reduced the size of it, we've reduced the wattage, we've reduced the overall light coverage as well. We're not as dense with the light as we were with the 1,000 watts, just because of the spread of where the poles are.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
To interrupt here for a second.
Mhm.
The annexation agreement with these folks was substantial compliance with the pre-approved plans from the county. They have come as close as they can to the approved plans. That was part of the annexation agreement with them. So anything they can do to try to, we could talk about this all night long, to get as close as we can to complying with the lighting ordinance and still stay within the substantial compliance of the pre-approved plans, the village would appreciate. Okay?
Yes, and I understand that, and I'm feel very pleased that Myers has considering us here. We're Community of Nature and Harmony, and I think that Myers will get tremendous good press because they would be trying to comply with this ordinance. And I know that there's probably some further things that could be talked about with the lighting, especially the gas station. I'm concerned because of the glare that's going to emanate from that area. And then we have to think about our existing businesses. We want them to stay. We want them to enjoy. We don't want them to have to say, hey, I want mine bright too. And then we've got light wars, which this ordinance tries to prevent.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like it noted that Meyer is going to continue to work with lighting and to try to comply as much as possible with our lighting ordinance.
I believe at this time we have done as much as we can, and I won't speak for Mr. Flickinger, but we've continued to work since the comment letter came out. And the memo that you referred to, there were 3 outstanding items, I believe. The first one was the fixture, which we've discussed and we're able to come to resolution on. The second one was a 24-hour store ordinance, which is in the annexation agreement. We operate as a 24-hour store. And the third one was the gas station canopy, essentially. We have continued to work since that memo, as stated, and been able to accomplish one more of those. The 24-hour, we believe, is relatively resolved through the annexation agreement. The gas canopy side of things, from a Meyer standpoint, is almost a non-starter. It is absolutely imperative for safety purposes, for the purposes of them being able to record on site for their security cameras, and for, honestly, for being able to have an accessible site from where they are and being seen on the road.
I wanted to address the 24-hour. It's really a moot point. Although we're going to, the lighting subcommittee that's composed of the Environment Committee and the CED Committee, and Community and Economic Development Committee, we're going to have some different wording on that. But it's moot because when a business closes within a certain period of time, then they would have to turn off their lights.
Correct.
You never close.
Correct.
Now, so that's why you don't have to worry about the 24-hour. I still don't quite understand about the lighting canopy, though. I know you say it's for camera purposes or for safety and so forth. We know that there's another major gas company that doesn't feel the same. They feel that brighter is not always better. They feel that safety is an issue when it's too bright, and I do agree with that. I just wonder if you would consider, because I know you're supposed to be very concerned about the environment. The environment also means the humans or the motorists and being able to adjust. I think that your station is going to be extremely bright, and I would, because right now you're over 200,000 lumens, and that doesn't even count the parking lot lights. So I'm asking you just to reconsider and look at that for a health safety issue.
So if any way you can help out, that would be, that would help Margaret in her decision about whether she wants a Myers in town. So I understand your situation.
I'm sorry, I
You have
didn't understand.
corporate guidelines. You have an annexation agreement with us that provides for substantial compliance, which we all agree you've substantially complied. Anything you can do along the lines of what Trustee Sabo has brought up would be truly appreciated. If it can't be, it can't be. So
But I didn't know what you said about me before when you said
I would, if they
I want a
could,
Myers.
if they could comply with, some of the things that you brought up tonight, that'd be great. But they've made an agreement with us in the past with substantial compliance, and they've done that. So let's move on.
Well, we don't want a problem with the gas station. I mean, I feel that they have done some wonderful things here. I'm surprised because I didn't know all of this until today. So, but I really wish you would reconsider the amount of lumens there. It's really over bright, a safety issue, energy saving. I mean,
Okay.
there we have statistics on that, and we don't want. We want to be able to continue to be looked as a model for lighting, which we are. We get calls from all over. So you get better press. You get wonderful press, positive press, if you would consider reducing.
Okay, Trustee Yukich?
Real quick, I want to congratulate you and welcome you to Homer Glen. We're very happy that you're building out here. And as for what Trustee Sable was saying, maybe there's a possibility we can even partner up with you for the lights and help out with the cost of it. We can talk as a board and see what we can do. Because like you said, it's costing you that much more money. I mean, we are thankful that you're coming in here. And what she's looking for is, what the trustee's looking for is to bring them down a little bit, but if, like you said, you're willing to talk, that's all we can expect. But thank you for coming here.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee DeVivo?
Aye.
Trustee Tejanis?
Aye.
Trustee Sabo?
Aye.
Trustee Suisse?
Present, and the
Trust-
reason why, this has been working on for a long time, and this is
Okay.
fairly new for me, so.
Okay.
Trustee Yukich?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Yeah, Mayor Daley votes aye also, 100%. You got it. Bring the store. Thank you. Motion carries. Is there any old business? That concludes our legislation and action items. Is there any old business? Is there any new business? Okay, then the next item is executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of discussing land acquisition?
So moved.
First by trustee Costa.
Second.
Second by trustee Yukich. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. We'll take 5, and we'll meet in the mayor's office in 5 minutes.